think I'm just looking over to see if Mr. Alistair Lamont is ready. He gives me a nod of confirmation just as we're treated to an official pyrotechnics display. Al, that's for you. Glorious, as you would say.
Yeah, I mean, I wouldn't go that far. It was a decent fireworks display.
That is 100% somebody's £10 box at their book.
Yeah, I'm not sure the word glorious could be used on that occasion. You need to keep that for special occasions. But a good old crowd has defied the weather conditions at the Falkirk Stadium, hoping for an entertaining spectacle between the hosts and the league leaders. Hearts can open up a 6-point advantage with another away victory tonight, but Falkirk have been a force to be reckoned with at home again this season. The two sides out on the pitch and both playing in change kits tonight. Falkirk in more or less all white and Hearts in all black, so it should be pretty easy to discern between the two as the two captains, Brad Spencer and the man who's almost adopted the heights of the likes of Pelly in Ryan Stevenson's world. He only has the one name, but I'll call him Lawrence Shankland, and he makes his way back to join his teammates as Falkirk and Hearts prepare to get us underway for the final match on this Saturday. A couple of games tomorrow, of course, including the League Cup final, but we'll have full coverage of that, but that can wait for now because this is a big game for both these sides. And Falkirk, the home side, will go from right to left as we look at it from the back of the main stand here. Well, Hearts will kick us off, and it is Claudio Braga who got that also important opening goal last weekend at Celtic Park. Can they repeat that feat and open up a gap once more, a bigger gap against a Falkirk side who have only lost on one occasion, as John McGlynn mentioned pre-match when St Mirren came here. We're underway. It's Hearts who get us going, and it's Devlin who fires it long up the right-hand side. As McEntee challenges for it, comes back into the Hearts half. Finlay and then Halkett under a bit of pressure. Halkett was caught there by Aguiman. He goes down holding his left shin. The referee belatedly does award the free kick. But early signs that Falkirk, who are renowned for their kind of short passing, playing out from the back, but they're not afraid to go direct, and John McGlynn certainly hinted Lee at that pre-match that they would be cognizant of the conditions here tonight.
Yeah, I think he was very honest, and you've got to play the conditions. You can't just keep playing the same way, and I think Ryan touched on it as well. A lot of managers will just go, right, this is how we're playing, this is how we're playing. You need to find a way to win a game, and it's not going to be slick passing tonight. It's going to be getting stuck in about it, old-fashioned, win your battles, get the ball as far away from your goal as possible and try and play in the final third, and that's what it looks like tonight.
And here's Shankland at the edge of the box, and he goes for goal. What a save, but on the rebound, it's in. Hearts have got the opener. Just over 60 seconds played, and what a start it is. Shankland with an absolute beauty of a strike from the edge of the box, tipped onto the bar by Scott Bain, but in on the rebound. Hearts managed to knock it past Bain. Was it Braga who got the final touch?
Yeah,
Braga again with the opening goal. And what a start that is from Derek McInnes' side. Falkirk 0, Hearts 1.
I mean, it was an unbelievable strike again from the Hearts Pelly, as you said there, from Lawrence Shankland. I mean, as Lee's touching on there, Hearts go long from the free kick on Craig Halkett. They win the first header. It falls down to Lawrence, and I remember Lawrence scoring a goal against it might have been Falkirk at home on his left foot, and he takes this quick touch on his right foot straight onto his left, and he just hits it. Bain with a hand, I'm not sure if he should maybe try and, I've been nitpicky here, if he can try and tip it over the bar or whatever, but like any other good striker does, the first striker has a shot, which is a great strike from Lawrence Shankland. Braga follows it in. You do crossing and finishing every weekend training, and Braga follows his teammate's shot in and gets a header in the goal.
Well, Hearts are certainly starting in that aggressive manner that Ryan was looking for as Harry Milne charges forward, but Falkirk have got it back, but they've got to try and recover now from an absolutely dreadful start as far as they're concerned. But Shankland, they really got a hold of the shot. I'm not sure Bain could have done any more. It came at him so quickly.
I'm going to disagree with you, Al. I think Scott Bain will be gutted he's not saved that, he's not put that over the bar. I think he'll be disappointed in that. And Braga is just onside, by the way. He's just onside.
Falkirk have won it in a good area, but the pass forward from Miller to Aguiman was just overhit. Perhaps again the wind coming into play there.
I tell you something, that's a great, I know it's 2 yards out, 3 yards out from Braga, but I see Braga having the bravery to actually just go there. He's actually steamrolled Scott Bain as well. We're just watching on the VT here, and he just header right in. That again, that's that confidence, that belief, that sort of hunger in a changing room where you go, as I said, he's followed his strike partner's shot in. Lawrence is a great strike, but Braga's literally, and especially for a form player as well, understand that, straight in, bang, goal.
He's put his head where it hurts, didn't he? Wanted the goal.
So 1-0 Hearts with now almost 4 minutes played, but the goal came in about 70 seconds.
But listen, the saving grace for Falkirk is there's still another 85, 90 minutes to go. So, I mean, we've heard the old cliche before, if there's ever a time to score a goal, then it's, or concede a goal, you want it to be early on in the game. So, I mean, Falkirk just need to settle themselves back into the game, try and find a bit of rhythm, try and get into Hearts' half. There's still obviously more than enough time for them to get back into the game.
Steinbender clips it forward for McEntee, who does appear to be playing that bit further forward, maybe not quite as deep actually as he played against Celtic, and it looks certainly to be a back four for Hearts this evening with Steinbender at right back. But McEntee, certainly remember seeing him early in the season playing in that midfield role. He's got so much energy and drive, and although he can do although he can do a job absolutely at right back, I felt when he came out of that midfield that they did lose a bit of energy.
I think you're 100% right there. I think he's better in midfield. What Hearts have done is they've switched Magnuson with McAtee. So last week Magnuson played off Callum McGregor. I think just that sort of the size of him, the way he is, he's quite kind of unorthodox at times. To try and get forward, to try and help Lawrence, obviously being away to Celtic. But Magnuson's obviously dropped back into that midfield alongside Cammy Devlin, and they've pushed McAtee up a bit. And I think he's excellent in there. I think he's comfortable in the ball. I think he's although he just gave it away there, but I think he's comfortable in the ball. I think he's brave. He looks a very good athlete, and then obviously we've seen his header last week as well, so he can chip in with goals as well.
Yep, he certainly did on that occasion. Falkirk got the free kick after McAtee was dispossessed there by Ross, and he was subsequently fouled. So the free kick about 15 yards inside the Hearts half, 5 or so in from the left touchline, and it's Calvin Miller over it. It's Falkirk trailing by a goal to nil as the free kick's taken short to Ross. Ross now will sweep it into the box, not a bad ball, headed clear, and Shankland will pick up, tries to poke it forward, but it's Cartwright to win it back, and Miller will chase and keep it in right at the corner flag, left hand side. He's up against Magnuson, he's beyond him, then it's Steinbender he's got to beat, comes off him and out for a Falkirk throw in down near the corner flag, left hand side. Reasonable response from Falkirk so far, having fallen behind to that Claudio Braga goal, and he now joins Lawrence Shankland on 11 goals for the season, and both of them have got 8 in the league as well. It's a really good return. No one's scored more goals than Hearts in the league this season, and that is in large part why they are sitting proudly atop the Premiership right now, as Falkirk just knocked the ball behind for a Hearts goal kick. It was Sam Hart up from left back, and he couldn't manage to keep the ball in play as Hearts continue on what is their best start to a season since 05-06, the famous one when George Burley won his first 10 in a row and then somehow ended up getting sacked by October. John McGlynn, in fact, then came in for a few games, 4 games in between Burley and Graham Ricks being appointed as the next full-time manager, but it then went a little bit awry. But certainly further signs of solidity under Derek McInnes and his reign in this current Hearts setup than there were in those times. as Steinvender slides it forward, cut out by Spencer, but only for the benefit of McEntee. McEntee though loses out, and Falkirk will try and get it forward to Aguiman, but again it's Wilson's pass that isn't quite on point. He goes to try and close down Harry Milne over the far side. Now it's Finlay forward on that left side, up towards Braga on the halfway line, knocked out for a Hearts throw in, more or less on the halfway. We've played 8 minutes here, and it's Falkirk 0, Hearts 1.
That there, it's disappointing from Wilson. That's a chance to get your foot on the ball, go forward, make something happen. Falkirk are better than that. They just look a little bit rattled just now. You can see Hearts are playing with so much confidence, obviously scoring such an early goal, but you can see how hard they're working for each other. As soon as they give the ball away, they're all over it. They're ones and twos. They're not just going in singles and doing that. They're hunting his packs, and you can see the confidence is breathing through this Hearts team.
Kyziridis, who's started kind of slightly out to the right hand side. He scored that wonderful opening goal against Falkirk at Tynecastle, cutting in off the left, which is what he tends to like to do, but just a slight switch of position for him as McEntee switches the ball out towards Harry Milne, who does well to keep it in play. Gathered a fair bit of pace in the wind going out there to the left hand side, but he's nodded it down now to Finlay, who clips it forward. Braga heads it down as Milne comes forward, playing in the left back position. We've seen him operate on the right hand side of midfield this season as well, but back in that more slightly natural position, although he performed, I thought, brilliantly in an unconventional role for a while. Here's Devlin, who I think has also been outstanding when I've seen him this season, not least last weekend at Celtic Park. Falkirk have it back midway inside their own half, and it's Henderson for Hart, and then into the middle of the park for the captain, Brad Spencer. Spencer out to the right hand side now to Lisa. Lisa will slide it forward for Wilson now. Finlay's been dragged out to the right hand side. He blocks the cross, and it spins out for a throw in down near the corner flag right hand side to the home side. Falkirk then looking to get back on level terms as quickly as possible. The defeat against Hibs last weekend ended a 5-game unbeaten run. That ball into the box from Spencer straight into the arms of Schwolov. He was another top performer at Celtic Park. He'll have been annoyed to have lost the late goal to Kieran Tierney, but beyond that it was an unblemished display. Here's Halkett, another big diagonal looking for Braga. It's Lisa who gets in ahead of him. He'll break out on the far side for a Hearts throw-in.
I think just looking at the Falkirk, I'm just looking at the Falkirk shape there. I think Falkirk, without doubt, obviously Aguiman and Calvin Miller are Falkirk's two sort of best attacking threats. But what I will say, I seen Calvin a lot when I was at Ayr United watching games, and he can switch off defensively. It's one of them. Whether it's Aguiman, which you really wouldn't want dropping that deep, but somebody has to go and sit in Cammy Devlin. And if Calvin Miller doesn't do that, I think it will cause Falkirk loads of problems. I'm just watching there for a couple of minutes there, and you could see Aguiman was starting to drop back in, then Calvin sort of kind of ran past him as if like, yeah, I'll go in there. And I think that'll be a fundamental of how Falkirk will have to play. They'll have to try and stop Cammy in that sort of deeper midfield area.
Does he, for you, well, let me describe his attack just before I ask you this question. It's Steinvender out to the right hand side for Kyziridis at the angle of the box, trying to get the better of Hart. Then it's Magnuson into Devlin out to the left hand side for Milne. The rain continues to team down here. There's a barge there. Well, it's going to be a corner kick. Fair challenge in the referee's view, shoulder charge, so it'll be a Hearts corner, left hand side. I was just going to quickly ask you about that Cammy Devlin role you're talking about. Is he almost playing the kind of Callum McGregor role now? Is he almost as influential as that now for this Hearts side?
No, he is. I think every game this season between him and Benny Beningame, when both of them were playing, were so influential. I think since Benny's been out injured, Cammy's been absolutely exceptional.
Okay, Hearts corner, left hand side. It'll be the in-swinger from Kyziridis. Halkett rises, and I think it was a touch. Well, the referee is pointing for a goal kick. I was pretty sure that took a touch off a Falkirk defender on its way through. Craig Halkett seemed to meet it pretty well, but behind, and the referee's given the goal kick to Falkirk. So Falkirk 0, Hearts 1, 12 and a half minutes in.
I think he's absolutely guessed that one there. Not got a clue who that came off of.
I think that's a chance for Craig Halkett there.
Definitely.
I think the form he's been in.
Here's Spencer nicking it in a good position, tries to poke it through. Wilson's almost in, but Finlay slides and knocks it out of play. But a bit of encouragement there for the home fans.
Yeah, he's so unlucky with the through ball there, Spencer. Just goes wrong side of the defender. Agiman doesn't quite read it, but a good chance breaking forward for Falkirk.
Thrown on the right hand side there, about 15 yards from the corner flag. Falkirk looking to level things up as early as possible to keep this good home run going. It's into Agiman on the right hand side of the box. Hearts get it clear again, but it'll be another Falkirk throw in on that far side. A couple of draws earlier in the Premiership. Dundee relinquishing a 2-goal lead away to Livingston. 2-2 that finished. 0-0 between Dundee United and Motherwell. Hearts break up the field, but the recovering challenge and out for a throw-in to the visitors, pretty much on the halfway line to be taken by Harry Milne.
I think Falkirk can take a wee bit of heart out of that last sort of play there. I think it's just a night for being direct. It was good play. It's not just lumping it forward, but it was good play there. And Falkirk try to play a through ball, and then ask the questions of Hearts' defence because they're facing their own goal. They're in a position where, especially there, do they pass it back to the goalkeeper? Do they not? Done the right thing by clearing it, but I think Falkirk need to do that. Can they get it? Can they be a wee bit more direct? Get it forward to Agiman, get Calvin Miller running into the channels down the sides of probably Halkett on this side, and I think when they do that, they'll look loads better.
Do you know what I'm surprised with for Falkirk's setup? I'm surprised Brian Graham hasn't started this game, because Brian Graham, for me, because he's upset with a back four, he gets in between the centre halves, it makes it hard for him. They'll never get a free header, a clean header on the ball. I'm surprised he didn't start this game tonight, because the way John McGlynn was talking, they're going to get the ball forward a wee bit quicker, they're going to play kind of longer balls, so make it difficult for the defenders. I don't know if Agiman has that in his game. He's really good at running channels. I'm not sure he's going to hassle defenders like Brian Graham would do.
Ross taken out of play there by Magnuson. The referee contents himself with the free kick. Callum Scott's the official tonight, incidentally, and some of the Falkirk fans looking for an early card there for Magnuson, but not this time. Falkirk have taken the free kick short. Spencer just inside his own half. 1-0 Hearts. Braga after just a couple of minutes. Steinbender cuts out the ball down the left, looking for Agiman. It's out for a Falkirk throw on this left hand side out to be taken by Sam Harts. On loan from Port Vale into Miller it goes. Manages to get it back to Hart. He's having to go back the way Henderson just pumps it forward. Agiman will go and try and get involved, but Steinbender easily wins it. But Falkirk get it back forward to Wilson. Again, the link-up play is not good enough though, and Hearts have it back, and it's Finlay for Milne. Wilson doing well though to win it back. Oh, the referee's blown up. Oh, I think Milne's got lucky there because he was caught in possession by the backtracking Carell Wilson, but referee deeming that to be a foul. As Hearts trying to come forward down the left channel, Shankland will go and make life difficult for Connor Allen, but he's done well there, defender. And Falkirk possession back. I'm surprised that was a foul when the one over in the more or less in the byline that led to the Hearts corner wasn't.
Yeah, I think
pretty similar.
I mean, I would love to see that not as a foul. I think
just let the game play.
Either time.
Millen sort of dillies on the ball there.
Miller just plays the ball behind Wilson. Not sure if the conditions are to blame, but Hearts have given it away. It's Miller picking up, goes for goal deflection, and a comfortable take for Smolov, who almost took that behind, and some of the Falkirk fans said that he did, but I think it was still just in play. But it looks like Hearts are going to maybe, partly because of the conditions, there will be chances for Falkirk to get back into the game.
It's good play from Falkirk there, sort of pouncing on that mistake, but I'm telling you, Hearts are going to cause themselves their own problems here. That's twice now that they've done it, where they've sort of played silly balls in the middle of the pitch, 25 yards out for their own goal. I think we all know it's not the night to do that.
A wee bit of indecision, wasn't it?
Yeah, and it's like there'll be players sitting on the pitch thinking he's just going to go long here, then they try and pass and they play. And to be fair to Falkirk, good play, the fact that they're actually trying to pounce on it. But you'll be kicking yourself if you give a goal away from home under these circumstances of a night like tonight, and you're trying to play in silly areas. I mean, it's such a schoolboyish thing to do.
Scott Bain looking for Aguiman on the left-hand side there, but he's just got a bit too much on it. Wind assisted probably, and out of play. Hearts have it. It's Halkett now into the feet of Shankland. Spencer was in there. Whose touch was that? The officials give the throw in Falkirk's way.
You can actually see there, Craig's tried, again, just what we're talking about, Craig's tried to play the ball into Lawrence Shankland there. And usually on a Saturday, on a nice day, that's a good ball to a striker. If it was played into myself or Lee's feet, you would hold it. But I'm looking down there and I can just see Derek going, don't do that, don't do that.
Here's Braga into the penalty area, tries to help it across for Shankland. Aims for a handball there. I think the referee has agreed on this occasion with the home fans, giving the free kick to Falkirk just inside their own penalty area. Hearts leading by a goal to nil. We've played 18 minutes. It's gone by pretty quickly, it seems. An opening goal coming just after the 1 minute mark, as Shankland's shot from the edge of the box was pushed onto the bar by Scott Bain, but Braga was there to pounce the head home. And he got the opening goal last weekend, and he's done so again on this occasion, as Allen tries to find Ethan Ross with a big diagonal, but it doesn't get through. Falkirk have got it back into Wilson once more. His passing so far in the game has been a little off, his first touch as well, and Hearts have it through Milne. That's a loose ball again though, so is that one, as Falkirk tried to play in the middle of the park, and Shankland has it for Devlin, and now Magnusson trying to play it down the left hand side for the run of Milne, but Falkirk have cut that one out, and they'll come forward now. Alfie Aguiman on the right hand side now. Little step over away from, oh, that's a header behind from Halkett. That didn't look too far away from going into his own net. Behind for a Falkirk corner. The step over and cross from Aguiman were pretty impressive, and but for Halkett's intervention, Miller was lurking, might have pounced himself, but as it is, Falkirk corner only, 1-0 Hearts.
That's exactly where you want Aguiman, facing up the defender on the wing, coming inside, getting his cross away. You need a Brian Graham in the middle though to finish that off, for me personally.
Calvin Miller has gone across to the right hand side to take the corner. He's taking it short to Spencer, right on the right hand side. Now the overlap and the offside flag goes up before the corner is awarded, and that's a bit of a waste of a set piece, it feels, for Hearts, as Karel Wilson went to try and go on the overlap. Not sure it was necessarily the right decision from the assistant, but it's been given, and now Hearts have the goal kick.
I think he was offside. I mean, these are the decisions that you make as players, and you think this is an opportunity for us here. We've just, again, as Lee's saying there, good play for Aguiman. Can we get into the game here? And then you just stifled yourself. You just let Hearts get a bye kick. Schwoloff's going to take his time. He's just going to assess, take the sting right out of the game. But going back on it, that is exactly what you want Aguiman to be doing. You want Aguiman to be facing up a centre half or in that sort of area. Can he get at them? And then I'm not really sure I'm going to give Craig the fact that it was really good defending, but Hearts were on the mouse there, the fact that he could have put that in his own goal.
Here's Braga, left hand side of the box, tracked by Lisa, gets it back to Shankland. Shankland inside, tries to curl one into the far post, but gets it all wrong, and it's well wide from Shankland. Scott Bain seeing that comfortably wide. Goal kick to the home side, 21 on the clock, and 1-0 Falkirk trail. Claudio Braga's 11th of the season.
That's how sort of football swings there, as you see Falkirk have really good possession, have a corner, do really well, and if Lawrence goes up there and then he scores that.
Aguiman back to Lisa, now it's in from the right hand side, and it's swiped behind by Steinbender on the left foot, and it's another decent bit of play from Falkirk as they begin to threaten once more.
Again, great bit of play, good play. Great bit of play, great first touch. Was it Conor Allen? Was coming in
Lisa, Philip Lisa,
really good touch, gets out his feet. He's so unlucky, the delivery, but really good positive play. I think over the last 10 minutes or so, Wilson's been really slack on the ball, but see what he's done, his reaction after it, he's hurried, he's chased it, he looks really sharp, but he just needs to tidy up on the ball when he's on it, linking up play.
Corner kick on the right hand side again, and it looks like this one's going to come straight into the box, certainly from Calvin Miller, left footed, and it swings right into the 6-yard box. The header was hooked away there by Braga. The header could have fallen to anyone, but Braga was there to do the defensive work on this occasion. Falkirk try and get it back into the box. Halkett's there this time. Braga heads it on once more. Spencer just prods it back to Conor Allen on the halfway line, but it was a wicked delivery from Miller. Allen and Lisa on different pages there, and Milne has nicked it on the halfway line, comes forward down the left hand side. What can Hearts make of this? Milne's continued his run, and then he gets it across. Sam Hart's there to knock it clear over on the right hand side, and that's gone out for a Hearts throw-in, but well, it's gone from end to end there, and Hearts almost away in the counter-attack.
Yeah, I think Falkirk need to do that, get it wide, get balls in the box, you can see that, but then obviously they try to kind of dilly-dally on it, they get caught. Hearts straight up the pitch, and it's a good ball in from Milne. You're just hoping that someone's busting a gut to try and get into that central area there to get a tap in.
And it comes from Milne again, and it's Lisa in the way this time to knock it out of play over on the far side. 1-0 Hearts lead, 23 minutes in. You're listening to Sports Sound on BBC Radio Scotland this evening, as Milne prepares to take the throw-in on the left-hand side, about 15 yards back from the corner flag on the left-hand side. He takes the throw-in and then gets it back once more, and then helps it forward for Braga. A little bit of skill, and then a sliding challenge is a good one, but it will be at the cost of a corner kick to Hearts over on that left-hand side. 1-0 they lead.
Great bit of skill from Braga there. But going back to Harry Milne, he's a driving force down the left-hand side there. He gives it to Shankland, but he doesn't just stand and admire his pass. He goes beyond, he runs beyond, and Shankland knows exactly where to play the ball in behind to get his cross in. Really good play.
Kyziridis over the corner then. This will be an in-swinger as well. And it comes to the near post. Aguiman was there though to meet it. It was a good emphatic header, and if it can be kept in on the right-hand side, Falkirk can come forward, but Devlin's there to mop things up as he so often is, and then plays forward once more. And it's Kyziridis picking up again, coming in off the left, can't get the cross into the box, but again Devlin will tidy things up and gets it back to Craig Halkett about 20 yards inside his own half square for Steinwender. Steinwender down the right hand side where Braga takes a touch. He's well challenged though by Hart, and then Aguiman will pick up, tries to get turned away from Braga, who does well again to just make it difficult for Aguiman, and wins it back ultimately for the visiting side. Devlin has it back to Halkett just outside his own penalty area. 1-0 Hearts it remains as McEntee plays it out to the right hand side for Steinwender, down the right for Shankland, just turns on the halfway line back into his own half, and then he'll play it left-footed to Stuart Finlay. Finlay will begin to bring it up towards the halfway line. Unchallenged thus far into the Falkirk Cafe goes now. He'll clip it forward. Milne's there, so to Kyziridis. Milne again with a physical challenge. He's not holding back tonight. He's got his side a throw in.
That probably was a free kick, I think. In fact,
it was assault.
He's knocked him 5 yards into the advertising boards.
It's been called an old school challenge, that right?
Milne takes the throw in though, back to Magnusson, and then it's back with Milne once more. Challenge comes in, and Hearts will get the decision again.
I know it's not Falkirk's way of playing and things like that, but we're obviously just sitting here and you're watching the rain swirl about, you're watching the flags, the corner flags swirl. I really think they just need to go, do you know what, like, especially second half shooting, because obviously they love shooting down that way in the second half. So if they can get to the second half 1-0 or 1 each, whatever it may be, and just get it wide, get in the box, because trying to play is getting worse, trying to play in this, and I think for Falkirk it's realising that, can they just, because they're so committed to that sort of play that they do, can they just get it wide and get it in the box?
Here's Magnusson trying to do that for Hearts though, cutting it back, looking there for a teammate, but it's cut out. McEntee was lurking, but Falkirk managed to clear the lines under a little bit of pressure just at the moment. 26.5 minutes played. Falkirk 0, Hearts 1. Claudio Braga with a goal.
You can see it. Hearts have adjusted to the conditions a bit better. They're playing kind of balls in behind Falkirk's defence, and they've got willing runners to go and put them under pressure and make them make mistakes back there and try and pounce on that. So that's kind of how the game's shaping up so far. Falkirk have to try and play in behind Hearts and get them facing their own goals so they can get up on the play. It might sound really simple, but it's quite hard to do at times.
Free kick goes Hearts' way there, and home fans not exactly delighted with the referee giving that one as a free kick and not a few that have gone before. As Shvolov gets it out to Finlay, left-hand side, midway inside his own half. Short ball forward for Magnusson, takes a chance and is dispossessed. Now it's forward by Wilson to Aguiman. Aguiman was looking for the run there of... Is that on the right hand side? He's looking for I think it was Cartwright to come forward, but he just didn't make the run at all, and straight out of play.
And I think he should have made that run. I know a lot of people would be frustrated when looking at Aguiman saying, oh, he gave the ball away, but he's actually held the ball in there. And I think as soon as he holds it in, it's exactly what I was talking about. As soon as he holds it in, somebody has to run off him. Somebody has to try and get beyond him so they can either get it wide.
Oh, that was a nasty one, that.
Magnuson going in on Spencer there for the high ball, and he's showing a yellow card for the challenge. And Spencer's down. Both up to contest the high ball. Spencer certainly come off worse, and the referee deciding it was a free kick and worthy of the booking. You agree, Lee?
Yeah, I've just briefly seen that. I've not seen a replay of it yet, but it just looked at it's hard because you use your arms for leverage. You try and jump your arms. You're obviously much taller than Spencer, and he's caught him. Spencer hasn't made a meal of it. Yes, he went down, he's obviously caught him, but yeah, it is a yellow card. Definitely is a yellow card.
So free kick to Falkirk, 20 yards inside the Hearts half, taken by Miller into the penalty. It's a good ball, up goes Henderson, wins the header, but couldn't get any real purchase on it. He was too closely marked. It's an easy take again for Svolov, and now Hearts will try and come forward here. The ball forward by Steinwender looking for Kyziridis, but it's back to Bain from Cartwright, and then back out to Cartwright. Cool play from the goalkeeper there, and Falkirk can try and come forward as Miller picks up, just crossing the halfway line, left hand side. Magnuson comes across to meet him, back the way to the halfway line for Spencer. He'll play it square now for Connor Allen, playing at centre back this evening, having played right back at Easter Road. He and Lisa basically swap positions tonight. Lisa's out in the right back role tonight. Here's Spencer in the halfway line, a clever ball infield to Cartwright, forward looking for Aguiman. Good challenge from Halkett though, as Devlin picks up now about 20 yards inside his own half, back the way to Steinwender, just knocked forward hopefully really. Henderson picks up, and now Spencer away from Devlin. Spencer out to the left hand side for Ethan Ross. Ross up to the angle of the box, tries a little step over. Steinwender's not buying it, wins possession back, and then just knocks it up to the halfway line for Braga to go and contest, and he's managed to control it. Well done from the Portuguese there. And then he finds Shankland. He's lost it though to Hart, and Hart picks up for Wilson. Wilson just nudges it back there to Lisa, who'll bring the ball forward up towards the edge of the penalty area. Miller's calling for it, but Lisa will send it into the back post. Hart there with the header at the back post. They never really looked set to try and get that one on target. Maybe better trying to go with the left foot, but he couldn't force it on target, and it's behind for a Hearts goal kick. After half an hour, Falkirk 0, Hearts 1.
He'd committed early with his head, didn't he? He couldn't pull out of it. Great ball in behind the defence there. A wee bit more positive from Falkirk. Aguiman has to do better for me though. He has to hold the ball up, or at least win a foul going forward, because he's that pivotal player up there. Things have to go through him to allow the midfield to get him support.
But that was miles better there from Falkirk.
Yeah.
I think that was a good 30 seconds, 45 seconds of them keeping the ball consecutively.
But they've got to defend here as Kyziridis picks up on the edge of the penalty area. Braga now. Shankland goes to his left hand side. Shankland with the shot, but he shanks it high and wide, much to the delight of the home fans. Again, a little bit like Hart a moment ago, he just wasn't quite set for it, a little bit off balance as he struck it with the left boot under a bit of pressure as well, and it's still 1-0 Hearts.
Yeah, you'd still expect them maybe to have at least hit the target with it. I think good play, but I think that basically sums up the two sort of teams there. As I said, Falkirk having really good play, and then Hearts dead aggressive 1-2 passes, and they're clean through in the Falkirk back four. But Falkirk have to sort of try and help themselves grow into the game, take confidence from that 30 seconds, 45 seconds there where they're knocking the ball about, then a good chance at the end of it. Can they do that again? Can they sort of grow themselves back into the game? I think what they will have done is they've looked at the previous games. I mean, Kilmarnock hung in to get a point right in the last minute and things like that, so by no means out of the game, but can they sort of try and get themselves back into the game in this last sort of 15-16 minutes before half time?
Magnuson heads forwards, and Allen, well, Bain stays in his line. Allen's just trying to see it behind, and he manages to do so under a bit of pressure from Claudio Braga. And it's a Falkirk goal kick which they've taken already. Bain to Henderson, into the feet of Ross, who's come extremely deep to pick up possession. In Hearts, Aguiman's on his heels again, and Halkett by contrast, is on his toes and actually gets the decision there and gets the free kick, which Devlin's taken. But is that another example of what you're talking about, Lee?
Yeah, I think so. Knowing Halkett well, having played with him, I know how strong he is, but Agiman has to feel the contact, he has to be stronger, hold the ball up, because it is a decent enough ball up. He holds the ball up, he brings the midfielders into play, because Falkirk going forward, they have got runners. Seen Ethan Ross burst a gut trying to get forward. I've seen Wilson looks pacey getting in behind. They have made runs, they've just not been found. They're looking to go, like Ryan touched on, they're looking to go too short and too intricate. Just put it in behind the Hearts defence, make them defend.
Being forward long this time, but Wilson can't keep it in play. Hearts throw in just inside their own half. 12 minutes of the first half to play, and Hearts still lead by that second minute. Claudio Braga header to nil as Finlay has it again, clipping it forward but a little bit aimlessly, and it's picked up by Allen just crossing the halfway line now. Connor Allen into the feet now of Ross, who's drifting all over the pitch. He wants it back there from Liam Henderson, but Henderson's turned it back to Scott Bain instead, and now it's back with Liam Henderson. Ross demands it this time on the left hand side, but still midway inside his own half. Henderson once more, square for Allen, and Allen thought about the ball out to the right hand side, and he plays it straight forward to Wilson, gets it back once more, and here is Wilson again, about 10 yards inside his own half. He tries to go a little bit longer. Steinbender sees it all the way though, nods it back to Svolov. No chance for Ethan Ross to latch on to that one.
I don't mind the idea of that, but I think if Ethan Ross gets there, he's getting nobody round the bound. He's getting nobody running off. If that happens, there needs to be a trigger for that. If that diagonal ball is going to happen, Eggman has to lock onto that and understand, right, the defenders, they're trying to make it hard for the defender to win the header. If Ethan Ross wins it, he's got nobody to head it to. Very difficult. But they have, I've noticed quite a lot now, they have got rotations, they have got good runners in behind. Cartwright's doing it, Ethan Ross is doing it. They're getting up on the ball, they're just not finding the right pass.
That's one forward by Halkett, knocked out of play by Sam Hart. Hearts began this day 22 points better off than they were at the same stage last season. It's been quite the turnaround, particularly since the summer, and Derek McInnes took over, and his side have an opportunity here to try and cause a threat and looking for a second goal before half time. Steinbender with a throw in, just a bit in line with the 18-yard box really, right hand side. In steps Spencer to knock out of play for another throw in. Two Hearts, pretty much the same position, maybe a little bit near the corner flag. In fact, McEntee is going to come across and take this one, and that would signal the long throw, and Halkett and Finlay make their way into the penalty area to try and create a bit of havoc on the end of this long throw in that McEntee is most certainly capable of. And it comes from the right hand side to the near post, shoved surely from Halkett. Yeah, the referee has given that, and it'll be a free kick to Falkirk just outside their own 6-yard box.
Yeah, I think sometimes you can be a bit cute, but Craig obviously used both hands, a knee and a foot there, so he did some. I mean, I can understand trying the long throw, but even sitting up here I'm thinking, is it going to go in, is it not going to? This could either go right over the back post.
It was a short long throw. It's one of the
this could go right over the back post or not even reach the 18-yard box. So
yeah, such are the swirling conditions here at the Falkirk Stadium. Probably not helped by the fact that we're missing a stand over on the far side. There are, I'm pretty sure the Falkirk chief executives told us at the start of the season there are tentative plans to eventually build a fourth stand, but at the moment it's pretty much a view of Grangemouth we've got. As Falkirk try and come forward down the right hand side, it's Wilson picking up. Finlay's had to come across, but it's straight into the arms of Svolov. Not a bad idea from Wilson to put it in early, but didn't quite get his angles right there, and it's a comfortable take for the Hearts goalkeeper with 37 minutes almost played. Falkirk nil, Hearts 1, as Hearts pump it forward. Shankland looking to make a nuisance of himself, as he so often does, and he's managed to get it out to the left hand side to Milne. Good challenge though by Lisa, who's been pretty impressive since he's made his way up here on loan from Swansea, certainly since having come into the team in the last month or two.
But I tell you, Falkirk, if Wilson has to go with Milne there, as soon as that goes into Lawrence Shankland, and as soon as you see Milne running, if you're Wilson, regardless whether he's getting the ball or not, you have to track him. because if he doesn't, he might get away with it this one, he might get away with the next one, but the third one they will get caught. And it's the little details, the little things that I'm saying about someone going and sitting on Cammy Devlin. If you don't match your runner against better teams, you will get punished at some stage.
Hart's throw in left hand side, cut out by Spencer, picked up by Miller, still midway inside his own half, tries to get it forward. Devlin's in the way, and it's out for a Falkirk throw in far side. Just over 7 minutes to the break, plus any added on time. We haven't had any major stoppages. There was a short VAR check of the goal, but that was quickly.
I still think if Falkirk get in at 1-0, I think John McGinn will be reasonably happy. I think obviously Hearts have started like a house on fire, brilliant, but I think he'll go into half time and say, all right lads, listen, weather, blah blah blah, can we just up it another 10-15%? We will get an opportunity, because inevitably one will come. Can we just keep believing? So I think if they get in at 1-0, they'll be reasonably happy.
Kyziridis knocking that straight out of play. Out on this near side for Falkirk. Sam Hart to take the throw in about 15 yards into the Hearts half. Cammy Devlin though was wise to it and cuts it out. Can't find the ball forward for Braga though. Falkirk get it back into Hearts territory, but Magnuson picks up and plays it out to the left hand side for Milne. Milne's on the run once more, and Lisa will have to get back as Finlay plays him in. It's Milne picking up on that left hand side. Oh, he's taken out of play. That's got to be a yellow card for Philippe Lisa, who just been caught a couple of yards behind Milne as he charged forwards and eventually decided he just had to bring him down there, and he's earned himself a yellow card. I mean, it's for his troubles.
So frustrating. That's it. Lisa has him inside his own half, so you either stop him there and just take the foul, or again I'm going back, you have to go, you have to run with them, you can't even give them a yard, 2 yards, because as soon as you give them a yard, you're done, you're dead.
He acts too late, doesn't he?
And again, good play, that's what you want off Harry Milne, good play. And now Hearts have got a really good opportunity to put a really good ball in the box, especially with Halkett, Finlay, Braga, the likes in that box.
And with the delivery of either Kyziridis or Milne, the right foot or the left foot, from the left hand side, just 2 or 3 yards in from the touchline. Looks like it'll be Kyziridis to bend it in. It's a low ball in, chested down by Braga. Back the way it comes to Magnuson. He was quickly charged down at the edge of the box, and it's broken off the Falkirk player who's stayed down, having made that block, and out for a throw in over on the far side. But it might be, I'm not sure if he's going to require treatment. Was it Ethan Ross who made the block, who's now down on the edge? It was a good block, whoever it was, and I think probably a necessary one. Yeah, it was Ethan Ross. Good defensive play from the winger there, but it's a throw. I'm not sure. I'm pretty sure that Kyziridis' delivery wasn't his usual standard, was it? Hearts throw in, but that's also wasted. Falkirk pick up, poke forward to Aguiman. Aguiman just stumbles as he tries to get beyond Halkett. Was he clipped there by the Hearts man? Yeah, the referee's going to bring that back. Now, does he book Halkett on the halfway line?
It's a definite booking for that, for me.
Craig Halkett is just walking away to the furthest part of the pitch.
I don't think he's going to escape the referee's attention.
He's over here hiding behind the corner flag.
Can he hide with those boots, man? The colour of them.
Yeah.
But again, that's good from Falkirk. That's what Falkirk want. They want to try and isolate the centre. That's what we were talking about. Can they get him isolated against the centre half to use his pace, use his power? And as much as he's done it, yes, he could have went through there. But Craig's now in a yellow card in this conditions. And it's going to be a long second half for Craig.
Free kick from Miller in towards the edge of the box. Finlay gets a good header, clear out to the left hand side, and then back comes Braga to nod it back to Shankland, who's deep in his own territory. A couple of spins, but he's lost it, and now it's Ross back to the edge of the box. The shot comes in and it's well wide in the end. It was Lisa who had the effort on the left foot from about 20 yards. Swallow saw it wide all the way, but another half chance for Falkirk just before half time, but it remains Falkirk 0, Hearts 1.
Good hustling from Wilson there. Falkirk team try to get round about the ball, not allowing them a clear clearance of the ball. Shanks does really well to start with, rides a challenge and then gets caught on it.
I think that's been Falkirk's best way in just now, hasn't it? It's been through Hearts' sort of, as much as we love Lawrence Shankland getting on the ball and that, outside his own 18-yard box, trying to do flicks and tricks.
Wilson charging through, Wilson's in behind, chance for the equaliser, goes round the goalkeeper. Oh, how did that stay out? Harry Milne on the line, makes the block. Falkirk claiming it was a handball, but it looked like he just got his body in the way as as Wilson went round the goalkeeper, slight angle, but Milne got back to get in the way of the shot. The corner's been awarded, of course it will be checked, but Falkirk just denied the equaliser by an incredible goal line block from Harry Milne.
It's an unbelievable. If it is a block, then amazing. But I'm trying to look at Harry Milne to see his face here, to see how he's.
What about Wilson's pace? What about Wilson's
But again, that's what we're talking about. That's what Falkirk need to do. They need to try and get that in behind. That's an unbelievable block. Unbelievable.
Harry Milne, I think if it hit his arm, it was right into his body. Here's the corner kick from the right-hand side. Hearts managed to scramble it clear, and they could be away in the counter here as Kyziridis leads the charge. Feeds it for Braga. Just central area, takes it past Connor Allen. Back goes Cartwright. Cartwright gets a touch. Shankland's there to pick up left-hand side. Knocks it back for Devlin. Devlin out to Shankland once more. Looks for the return, Cammy Devlin. Almost down at the corner flag. It's a little back heel towards Shankland. Falkirk, with a feeling have been hard done by there, but they've managed to get it clear out on that far side. The Hearts left, as I think Lee's getting another look at this effort at the other end from Falkirk. We'll get his view on it in just a moment.
It's one of them. I think it does actually hit his hand, but his hands. Wow.
That's a handball.
Is it?
Wow.
I can't see the replay.
He's brung. I know the rules. He's brung his hand up.
It's a natural position. The way he slid in. Does he put his hand down? I don't.
That's a handball. He's brung his hand. His hand is in close to his stomach, but he's brung his hand up so that it's in close to his, like.
But is it one of them? If it doesn't hit his arm, does it hit his body? I don't know. I couldn't really see it properly there, but I think Wilson's got to do better anyway. He's got to finish it.
I think Wilson's got to finish it. I think Milne does well in the fact that I think he gets caught and lets Wilson get the other side of him. Wilson then goes through. He doesn't give it up. Wilson goes round Schwaloff. I think he then got to just go to the opposite corner instead of trying to kind of dinky chip it.
I think we've all seen them given for that, for a handball. I've definitely seen a
and I mean, if you're John McGlynn, you're raging because he's off as well.
If the referee had given it, do you think it would have stood? The VAR wouldn't have chopped it off, wouldn't have changed the decision. Interesting. We'll discuss it more at half time. And Falkirk still trail by a goal to nil. This goal was scored almost an entire half ago, in 70 seconds or thereabouts. Claudio Braga in on the rebound after Lawrence Shankland's shot was tipped onto the bar by Scott Bain. Just a minute to be added on here at the end of a decent enough first half given the conditions, you would have to say. A couple of chances at either end and plenty of endeavour, some decent football. Ross's flick doesn't come off. Halkett cuts it out forward to Shankland on the halfway line. Now it's Kyziridis, right hand side. Back into Shankland, he'll play it forward. It's a lovely looking ball. Steinwender's gone forward. Sam Hart though has done well, but then the clearance is not so good. Falls to Kyziridis. Kyziridis to the edge of the box. Shankland now sends it to the back post, headed away by Lisa. Wilson just getting in front of Harry Milne there, and then he's gone beyond Magnuson. Good play from Wilson. Magnuson's got to be careful here. And then Wilson just slips. Ultimately, that's a bit of a shame because he'd done so well. Hearts have then knocked it out of play on the far side. But the good play from Wilson all spoiled by the slip in the halfway line.
I thought it was a foul out, to be honest.
Did you?
I thought he niggled away at him, and eventually obviously slips, but thought it should have got pulled back for a foul. Really good positive play from Wilson. It's been a really good spell for Falkirk to finish the half really strong.
They've managed to just knock the ball out of play on the far side, and that'll be that for a first period which began so well for the league leaders. Within 2 minutes they were a goal in front. Shankland with a snapshot from the edge of the box, so powerfully hit. Bain got a fingertip to it to push it onto the crossbar, but first to react was Claudio Braga, who once again notched the opening goal, survived a VAR check for offside as he did at Celtic Park as well, to put Hearts in the lead in the early stages. Falkirk's response was decent, and Hart had a chance at the back post after Lisa flashed it across goal, but his header fell wide. And then their biggest opportunity came just 3 minutes before the interval as Karel Wilson managed to get in behind Harry Milne, rounded the goalkeeper as he came out. The angle was slightly against Wilson, but he still managed to get the shot in on target. but Harry Milne managed to get back on the line, blocked it behind for a corner. VAR had a look at it, decided there was no handball, or certainly not a punishable handball, and so it was only a corner, which came to nothing. And so at half-time, it's Falkirk 0, Hearts 1.
The Scottish Premiership.
Live on Sports Sound.
Scottish football lives here.
On BBC Radio Scotland.
Spectacular!
Recent form can inform when picking a favourite. In the Premiership, St Mirren held Celtic goalless until the 95th minute.
What a goal from Callum McGregor! The last kick of this game!
But on the road to Hampden, St Mirren stunned in the semis.
There's another goal for Mikael Mantroy! Motherwell 1, St Mirren 4!
With just 3 days for Celtic to recover from the Europa League, who is the real favourite? The Scottish League Cup Final, St Mirren versus Celtic, tomorrow afternoon at 3:30 on Sports Sound. Listen on digital radio or ask your smart speaker to play BBC Radio Scotland.
Yeah, big game to look forward to tomorrow at the National Stadium, Hampden Park. St Mirren Celtic in the Premier Sports Cup Final. As for tonight's proceedings here in Falkirk, it's Falkirk 0, Hearts 1, as eloquently described by Al Lamont there. Lee, Ryan, it's a half topped and tailed with drama, maybe not incident-packed the first half, but a goal at the start for Hearts, and that goal line clearance, shall we call it that? Save, you might like to call it, by Harry Milne. So we'll get your thoughts on both incidents. Let's start at the beginning. Lee, you felt maybe Scott Bain could have done better?
I think Scott Bain will be disappointed. I think he could do better. He's obviously tried to palm it over the bar, and he's kind of missed it. He's tipped onto the bar, but I think he could do better. He'll look back at that, he'll be critical of himself. He's a really good goalkeeper. He's done brilliant for Falkirk this season. I think he'll be critical of himself. Lauren Shankland on his left foot from so far out. Yes, he connects with it really, really well, but you've got to credit Braga for getting in on the rebound, like all good strikers do. He's followed it in. He's just onside as well. I've seen a replay of it, and he's just gambled and went in where it hurts, and it's 1-0 Hearts.
The big man a wee bit harsh on Scott Bain there, Ryan, do you think?
Well, I mean, from one goalkeeper to another, obviously I've played in goals a couple of times. I know how hard it is. I know how hard it is to pluck balls out the top corner. No, listen, probably for a goalkeeper at his standards, but I think Lawrence takes the touch on his right foot so quickly, then hits it with his left foot so quickly. Listen, a great touch, great strike for Lawrence, and then, as I was saying in the commentary there, you do shooting practice every week, and all the manager shouts and the assistant, and all you hear them shouting is follow it in, and Braga does exactly that. His striking partner has a shot, and like any good striker, top striker, which he is, he follows it in, and it was a great header, because obviously Scott Bain was coming straight back out on to try and obviously save it, and a great start for Hearts.
Yeah, I thought Falkirk had gotten away with it initially when it bounced off the bar, and then Braga was on his toes. He's
sharp. He's really sharp in there. I've been really impressed with Braga and Shankland's link-up play. They always look for each other round about the box, and the wee overs round the corner. See, when you get a strike partnership that understand each other's games, and they're not overly greedy to try and score every single goal, because you get that throughout the clubs. You look at different players and partnerships. Some of the strikers are so selfish, they don't want their strike partner to score. It looks as if they're absolutely delighted when each other scores, which is sometimes hard to come by.
I'm sorry, I'm just gobsmacked by that. You're saying some strikers are so selfish, they don't want their partners to score.
No, listen,
you sympathise with that, right? We're getting enough.
I mean, I just had a rule in my head. If I was anywhere inside the 18-yard box, I was shooting. And then obviously I played alongside, a bit deeper, but I played alongside Rudy, and Rudy was the most, to be fair to Rudy could back up, so I'm kind of shooting myself in the foot here, because but anyway, for 35 yards in, he would shoot and he would score. But listen, that's a trait of strikers, isn't it? They have to be selfish. They are selfish sometimes, but they do link well. And it was great striker play. That for any young kids watching that, it's great striker play, that one having the shot and the other one following it in and being brave and getting the goal.
And then the other big moment in the half, coming 3 minutes from half time, was the goal line clearance, we call it, from Harry Milne. Wasn't quite on the goal line, Falkirk fans screaming for a penalty. It was briefly checked by the VAR and cleared. Play continued.
Yeah, we've seen a couple of reruns of it. It obviously does strike his arm, and I've seen the decisions given as a penalty before. But my question is, where is he supposed to put his arm? He's put his arm kind of close to his body. He's sliding in. In my opinion, I wouldn't like to have seen that given as a penalty, but they have been given in the past, so it's a difficult one. John McGlynn will be raging about it. Falkirk players will be annoyed about it, because it was a really good bit of play. Aguiman, an incredible ball through for Wilson, a clean set of heels. Wilson on the two centre halves, and he's through and goal. To be honest, I think Wilson's just got to finish it there and then. Don't take it round him and give him a chance to get back.
I'd scribbled that down.
Yeah,
he delayed, took it past him.
Don't give him a chance to get back into it. You've taken the goalkeeper out of the equation. Just slide it past him. Score the goal. Easy for me to say up here. Never had a bad game in the stand. So, listen, it's one of those things. But Falkirk really did finish the half really strong. They can take a lot of positives from that. So it'll be interesting to see how they set up and come out this second half.
What was your verdict on the contentious moment of the half, Ryan?
I think he's smart, Harry, because I think he puts his hand up close to his body, but I think he does move his hand up towards the ball when the ball's coming in. I think it's a bit of panic as well, because he gets caught short as Wilson runs in. He does amazing to get back into the position he does to block it.
Would you rather just concede the goal rather than give away a penalty, get a red card?
No, listen, I've done it myself. Sometimes when you make a mistake, so he's let his runner get off him, that instant panic that comes in your head, genuinely, because you know that's your man that's got away from you.
Stop the goal.
You will literally do anything, because you just know if they score, this is my fault, and you know it's coming after it, so you'll kind of do anything in a blind panic to try and stop it. And I think he does lift. I think it's a good block, but I think he lifted his arm. If that penalty was given, I would have said, yeah, I can understand why, but I do agree with you too. I think that's what Falkirk are missing, is that clinical edge, that clinical finish, because as soon as Wilson goes through, see if he just puts his head down and thumps that as hard as he can across the goal, it's a goal.
So you having another look, Lee? Oh, there's discussion going on in the press gantry.
Yeah, so obviously what I'm saying is it doesn't happen in his arm, so I'm talking absolute rubbish.
Can you clear things up a bit for us, Lee?
Nope.
You've eyes on it again.
Absolutely
well,
not.
So certainly not clear and obvious then, one would think, after that.
I think the guy in front of us is basically saying he's skiffed his fingers. the way he's sort of caressing his gloves there.
Yeah, but I mean, Falkirk, you had said earlier, Lee, that Falkirk were rattled, but maybe they were rattled, but they certainly rallied.
Yeah, they did. They definitely did. They finished really strong. John McGlynn will be happy about that. I just think they need to play the elements a wee bit more. We've seen there was a chance near the end there where Shankland plays the ball in behind the Falkirk defence, and obviously the Falkirk defender gets there first, but tries to hook it back as a clearance. Hearts are up on it, getting that second ball, and that's all that happens with that. It's a ball not into a Hearts player, but it's in behind the Falkirk defence to make them defend, make them try and force them into making mistakes, and then get up on the second ball. Falkirk haven't done that enough, turned Hearts defence to try and get up in second balls. I think that's what John McGlynn will be saying to them going into this second half.
Their link-up play, Ryan, lacked a wee bit of fluidity. Falkirk's at times.
Yeah, I think they were good to a certain point. I think what they were good at, and I think what John will be saying to them in there, is every time they pressed or they got an opportunity off Hearts in that sort of deep midfield part of Hearts and Hearts' back four, they were good at getting the ball back. But then can we just find that final pass? Can we get it wide? Can we get a cross in? As Lee's sort of saying there, we're maybe an inch, 2 inch off of just getting that final ball, and then when we do it, as Wilson does, can we then get the finish? I mean, they're obviously going to be shooting into their home fans in the Kevin McAllister stand, which they always like to shoot into in the second half. As I said in commentary, I think getting 1-0 at half time would have been okay for Falkirk. I think the way they finished the half, it will be even better, because he'll be then in rallying them round them and saying, listen lads, we can actually do something here, we can get something out of this game. I think for Derek McInnes's point of view, and watching him on the touchline, he will be reiterating to them, we have been here before. I sat last week and watched them against Kilmarnock, and as soon as they scored, they kind of get into this way where they just thought, that's fine, we're 1-0 up, we're going to win this game, and it doesn't pan out that way. So I'm sure he'll be in the changing room saying, play everything this half, because Falkirk are going to come out and have a right good go at us, play everything in their half. Can we just turn them? Can we ask questions? But Falkirk definitely, there's something still in this game. If Hearts come out and play the way they did, majority of that half, there's still something in this game for Falkirk, I feel.
Right, just for the purposes of clarity, we can head back to that penalty, non-penalty.
My God, I can't wait to hear this.
What penalty?
Well, apparently the on-field officials recognise that the ball did strike the arm. However, it was in what we would term a natural position.
He moved
and
his
there was
hand up.
no intention to stop the ball going into the net with his arm, hand, elbow, whatever.
Honestly, I just give up with the sort of the things they come up with. Is like he's actually moved his hand up towards the ball, so he's intentionally moved his hand up. Whether that's because he's sliding, maybe.
I don't see it that way, Ryan. Honestly, I see the fact that he's tried to move his arm in towards his body instead of going. Do you know when people slide in and they make themselves as big as possible, their arms outstretched?
Do you know what? Maybe he actually has tried to do that.
I genuinely think.
Point, yeah.
I think you're seeing it slightly different to how I'm saying. I think he's tried to make his arm as close to his body as possible. It struck his arm, but his arm's actually, if it doesn't hit his arm, it's hitting his body, if that makes sense. It's such a difficult one. It's a fine line. I think it could have went either way.
I'll be honest, it all happened so quickly I couldn't really make my mind up on that. But
the problem is, I wish we could just go back to it was like, if it's a proper handball, it's a handball.
Yeah.
It's like it's clouded. It's clouded everybody's judgment, all this, because we now look at it and as soon as there's a handball, you're going, I don't even know. And I've been involved in professional football for 25 years and I'm not even sure if it's a handball or not. It's like, I just wish we would go back to like proper, clear, obvious decisions.
Was that actually a thing?
Probably not. No,
There's always been debate, hasn't there?
Well, I suppose.
Do we live in a world like that?
I just want VAR away. I genuinely just want VAR to go, and I just want the referees to make a decision.
Totally agree with you, because we're still getting decisions wrong. Sack VAR. Yeah.
Well, we'll get John McGlynn's verdict at full time.
I already know what that'll be.
That might be determined by how the match actually pans out. I'm just wondering, Ryan, Hearts got off to a real flying start. Do you think Derek McInnes would be a wee bit disappointed that they haven't built on that, haven't capitalised on that early goal?
I would think he'd begin in there and he'd begin through them. Because I think what's happened previous to them being in winning positions in games and then not capitalising on it in that wee sort of blip. And I think because the importance of this game, of going on the back of last week, it was such a massive result. You're in a winning position here, lads. Do not go out and give them anything. So just go out. The conditions, everything that's happening here tonight, the fact that Falkirk have kind of been the better team and put us on the back foot the last 10-15 minutes. If it was me, and I know the way he is, I would imagine he'd be in there going through them. Not in a bad way, but just reassuring them, going through them, letting them know yous have to start this well. If yous don't start this well, and as I said, Falkirk's shooting down towards the Kevin McAllister stand. If they get one, it'll be hell for leather, and then you're in a proper game. So just go out, see the next 15-20 minutes out, play in Falkirk's half, and it's the same old cliche. Listen, lads, let's just get up the road with 3 points. Let's get out of here, get a shower, up the road with 3 points, and then we focus on next week.
Yeah, Falkirk now 3.5 games without a goal. Lee, I'm just wondering, John McGlynn said he wasn't concerned with the lack of goals, but they have looked a wee bit ponderous maybe up front when it gets to that final third. Yeah,
I think it won't be long until we see Brian Graham. Brian Graham will cause problems in the Hearts defence. He makes a nuisance himself. See in terms of the way Braga plays, see the centre halves when the ball goes up to Braga's got no right to win the ball, but he makes a nuisance himself. He's like a Simon Murray type player. He never gives up. He never gives up in the ball. See, if you play a ball in behind Falkirk's defence, you can guarantee Braga will be up on it and Shankland will be up on the next one. So I think Brian Graham will be on. He'll hustle and harry the centre halves, who have done really well.
Do you think he might be tempted to bring him on at half time?
Yeah, I think so. I think potentially, yeah. He might give 5 minutes and see how it pans out to start with, but throwing him on at half time, going hell for leather right away.
Well, you've got Halkett on a yellow as well.
Exactly.
That's why if they wonder if they leave it maybe 10-15 minutes and then they'll maybe have the conversation in the change room and they'll say, as soon as Brian comes on, get it wide, get on Halkett because he's on a yellow card. and get it in the box. Let's just get it in the box and ask questions.
Players coming on to the field ahead of the second half. I'll hand you over to Al Lamont shortly, but just before I do, how do you think, guys, this second half is likely to pan out, Lee?
I think Falkirk will go for it, but unfortunately I think Hearts will pick them off. I think they'll score a goal and they'll be comfortable, but I think they need to go hell for leather to start with and see how Hearts cope with the pressure.
Briefly, Ryan?
Yeah, I think the strength that Hearts have got in the bench as well, that they could make a couple of changes, and if they can come on and be influential in the game, I think Hearts have just got too much to get the 3 points here.
OK, guys, back over to Al Lamont.
Thanks again, DC. Falkirk just about to get us back underway. No changes at the interval for either side, so as you were from the start. But yeah, I do suspect that Brian Graham will be used if there's no immediate change to the score line. Falkirk coming down the right hand side early on. It's Cartwright getting the back heel from Wilson. Wilson then well challenged as he gets the ball back by Milne. Milne spins away from him, and Cartwright knocks the ball out of play. Just to touch on the handball incident, given the guidance we've had and having seen it back myself, I do think in terms of the guidance the referees are given, that it's not the kind of handball that they are looking to punish in Scottish football these days, and that is consistent with some of the examples that have been shown to, well, a number of us who have been to various briefings and stuff like that, including the clubs themselves. So, you know, John McGlynn probably still won't be delighted about it, but I think it is a consistent decision. So just to add to that slightly, as Hearts get a free kick midway inside their own half. Schwoloff to come out and take it. Lee, you were going to say?
I think on the back of that, that's perfect. See if they're all like that,
yeah,
and the consistency comes in. I've no issue with that. Absolutely no issue with that.
Schwoloff then clips it down the left hand side, but only onto the head of Lisa, who can only knock it out of play though. And Hearts will have another throw in here. Harry Milne to take this one about 20 yards inside the Falkirk half. To the chest of Shankland, back to Milne. Didn't give Devlin much of a chance to do something with that, and Aguiman tumbles, no free kick though, and then Devlin gets out to the right hand side to Kyziridis. Kyziridis early ball into the edge of the box is knocked away by Allen as far as the halfway line, where Finlay will turn it back inside to Halkett, and then out to the right once more to Kyziridis on that right touchline, but 20 yards inside to the Falkirk half. Halkett now for Finlay, just crossing the halfway line. The left-footed defender plays a right-footed ball out to Braga. He's just managed to keep it in, but only presented it to Aguiman, who tries to turn away from Finlay. Then in slides Braga. Wilson was taken down with a challenge by Milne, but it was a fair one. He took the ball, and Milne's hurt himself in the process of doing that. I think the sort of impetus of Wilson turning into him, maybe giving him a bit of a dead leg, but play continues on the right hand side with McEntee into the feet of Shankland, back to Devlin, about 10 yards inside the Falkirk half. Milne's still just trying to shake off that blow he took a minute ago. Here he is though in possession, left hand side, plays it into the feet of Magnuson and then back to Milne, this time into the feet of Braga. Milne goes down off the ball, looks at the referees, play continues with Hearts in possession. Milne just feeling a little bit sorry for himself at the moment. He's still feeling the effects of the initial challenge. Right hand side, the ball comes into the Falkirk box, but under the feet there of Shankland, and all the way through to Scott Bain. If they played 3 minutes of the second period, still Falkirk 0, Hearts 1.
I'm actually just laughing alongside you. Harry Milne was just a beacon there for about 2 or 3 minutes just to get battered from pillar to post, but good start I think initially from Falkirk. Hearts sort of trying to come back into the game, trying to get a bit of impotence back into it. I think if you're Derek, you wouldn't be too happy the way they started, but they need to try and get a foothold in the game. I think that's the only thing that everything's great about Hearts, but when they're 1-0 up, I do think they struggle to sort of settle into the games and actually dictate games.
Here's Aguiman right hand side up against Finlay, fires it into the near post, knocked away by Milne. Finlay keeps it in and then does well to get the ball to Magnuson, who fires it into the feet of Shankland, who in turn tries to play it early on to Braga, but it was read by Allen and he gets it back to Bain. Here's Allen once more Out to the right hand side to Lisa, more or less on the halfway line, turns away inside from Shankland, looks forward now. Shankland comes back up and he steps away from him again and gets the break of the ball, and still he's coming forward, Philip Lisa, and now he's at the edge of the penalty. It's a good challenge right to the edge of the box, and it had to be, as Hearts now move forward. Lisa almost making some great inroads there. It was almost reminiscent of the Conor Allen run here, I think against Dundee, when he scored that fabulous goal. Albeit he got a little bit of a fortuitous bounce, Lisa, but it was an important challenge from Steinwender.
I just think when he comes inside there, he should maybe just hit it. Just take it. You're 1-0 down. Just take it. It's an AstroTurf. It's at night. It's wet. Just take it, hit it. But again, I'm going back on it. This is what Hearts are. Hearts done the exact same against Kilmarnock. That's where they're 1-0 up. Try and take the sting out of the game. Try and get some passes, and it just turns into a basketball game. Right now, all we're seeing is Falkirk go forward. Hearts go forward, they give the ball away, so you're allowing Falkirk just to keep coming, and that's what Falkirk want. They want to try and grow themselves into the game, and Hearts are actually allowing them and actually helping them to do that. So I mean, if you're Falkirk, you just need to keep doing what you're doing, and hopefully you'll get a chance.
Loose ball there from Spencer, but Falkirk have managed to win it back. Left hand side it's Ross, and it comes off Kyziridis out there on that far side for a Falkirk throw. Spencer's just down on one knee at the moment, not sure quite what happened to him, but
I think if it was to go another 5 or 10 minutes, I think Derek McInnes will be looking to make subs. I think he'll look to try and get something on, whether it's Kabori trying to get in behind, just something to sort of stretch the game, to allow the back four to get up the pitch. And then again, on the flip side of that is John McLean. You can see that him and his coaching staff standing talking just now. Do they stick or twist? Do they say, listen, do we sit here for the next 10 minutes or so and see if we can get something, because we've started the second half reasonably well? Or are they saying to Brian Graham, right, let's just go out, get warmed up, maybe even Scotty Arfield, because he can come in and sort of dictate play, and he loves to have shots from outside the box. So it'll be interesting to see what happens.
Here come Hearts. It was a nice touch from Shankland, and now it falls to the edge of the box. It's Magnuson. His shot is half charged down. Out comes Bain to the edge of his 6 and takes that one under a bit of pressure from Braga, but pressure now relieved by the goalkeeper, who then bowls it over arm to Lisa on this right hand side.
Magnuson's got to slide Milne in there. He's got to slide him. He's free to the left hand side, and he's got a free shot at goal. Great bit of play with Shankland though.
Out to the left it goes to Ross. Ross up against Steinwender, and he comes in the angle of the box here, right footed, tries to curl onto the back post. It's just beyond Wilson, and he stretches but can't get any contact on it. Behind for a goal kick to Hearts. We've played almost 7 minutes of this second period, and it's still Falkirk 0, Hearts 1. Falkirk beat Hearts here at the start of last season in the League Cup. It was a very different Hearts side, you've got to admit. 2-0 they won on that occasion, with Ethan Ross and Dylan Tate on the score sheet. They last met here in the Championship back in March 2015. That was a 3-0 win for Hearts on that occasion. And the last Premiership meeting here was a 1-0 win for Hearts, and I'm disappointed to say it was Michael Stewart who scored a penalty on that occasion to give Hearts the victory in a game that Scott Arfield played. That was back in 2009. And it's even longer ago since they actually beat Hearts here in the top flight. Trailing here by a goal to nil as Devlin just takes a little tumble under a bit of pressure from Aguiman, who pleads his innocence, but it will be a free kick to the league leaders, who at the moment are looking to stretch their advantage over Celtic to 6 points, albeit Celtic would then have 2 games in hand. But certainly better to have the points on the board than the games in hand, that's for sure. As Devlin has it on the halfway line, out to the right hand side to Steinbender, but 15 yards into the Falkirk half. Good pass initially to Shankland. He sweeps out to the left hand side to Milne. I thought maybe he just showed a little bit of that, too much of that to Wilson, and that's a ball forward for Milne once more from Finlay into the near post. Bain collects, no Hearts player able to get a touch before that. Again, it was Wilson kind of sleeping down there as Milne burst forward. You picked up on that a few times, and it was obvious there as he had the opportunity from the left hand side.
Yeah, and I think as I said in the first half, at some stage if they don't buck up their ideas and go their runners, they will get caught. I think Harry plays in a decent enough ball there, but I think if it was just maybe a yard or so out from Scott Bain, Lawrence Shankland's trying to get in the front post, Braga's trying to get in the front post, but again, good play, good ball from Finlay to release Millen, and Derek McInnes will want more of that. Come on, boys, can we get more of that, and then try and get that second goal? And ultimately, I think if they get the second goal, it'll kill the game. But again, great play to play.
Brilliant turn was Kyziridis coming in off the right hand side, then slips it through Shankland out at a narrow angle, but clips it in, and Bain collects. Might just have got the shot away a little bit quicker, but terrific play in the build up from Kyziridis though.
And he's had a quiet night as well, but again, that probably just shows you that bit of quality where all he really needs is 1 minute, one moment of quality, and it can end up in a goal, or a sort of opportunity to goal. But great play from him there.
Lisa cuts out the diagonal from Halkett, and Milne tidies up for Hearts in the midfield, and now it's Finlay just inside his own half. Out to the left to Braga. Braga back the way to Milne. And then back into Halkett once more.
Derek McInnes will be happier. The fact they're just stroking the ball about, they're taking the sting out of the game. Cammy Devlin's won about 3 or 4 free kicks for getting caught on the ball in the midfield, just buying free kicks really to take the sting out of it. So he'll be more impressed with the way they're taking the sting and playing the ball about.
Aguiman loose with a layoff there, and that allows Hearts to spring forward, which they'll do here with Kyziridis into the penalty area. A good block behind there by Sam Hart, but Aguiman guilty of a poor touch in the midfield, and Hearts almost punishing him to full effect, but will just be a corner.
Yeah, it's a poor touch from Aguiman, but I tell you what, Cammy Devlin is playing at a different level just now. See the last 5, 6, 7 games.
I've been really impressed with him tonight, Ryan. This is the first time I've seen him in the flesh. He puts out fires, but he doesn't get complimented enough for his actual passing ability and his ability. He's actually a really good player.
His ball playing is unbelievable, but again, it's hard for people who maybe aren't watching, or fans who maybe just come along, see the angles that he makes for other players, to give them time on the ball, them space on the ball, to always be an option, to give an angle, to always be a sort of safety net there for players who are maybe in a tight position.
Milne plays the corner kick back the way to the angle of the box. It's Kyziridis from the right, takes a big deflection, and Milne pushes it wide. Well, maybe it wasn't a deflection, maybe it was an intended effort from Claudio Braga, and either way, Bain had to spring to his left to push that behind for another corner. It was well worked from Hearts, and Bain keeping the scoreline at 1-0 Hearts.
He's so lively, Braga, isn't he? He dives out the way and gets his head on it, takes a slight deflection. Good save by Bain.
Another corner then from the right hand side to be taken by Harry Milne once again. Let's see what they try and work on this occasion. It's swung into the edge of the 6-yard box. Finlay can't reach it. Falkirk trying to get their lines cleared. Aguiman picks up at the edge of the box, and now it's Miller, right hand side, plays it infield, but Magnussen's in the way, and it's out for a Falkirk throw-in. Just on Devlin, as you were talking about him there, I mean, if he keeps up this form, I know he's been in a couple of Australia squads a while back, not that recently, I don't think, but if he keeps up this form, I mean, he's got to be in contention for a World Cup place.
Oh, I would think so. I was just about to hit you with a microphone there, because I thought you were going to say somebody's going to come in and try and buy him in January or something like that. And I'm like, oh, don't you dare say that. I mean, he's been absolutely, as I said, I've seen pretty much all the games this season. He's been absolutely unbelievable. And I think even more so now when Benny's out not playing, because the two of them played so well together. Yeah. But yeah, I would be super surprised if he didn't get a call up and he wasn't on that play in the World Cup.
He really has to be on the radar at the moment, the way he's been playing. As Hearts have it, still 1-0 they lead. The goal came back in the 66 seconds, I think is the official timing. It's been given from Claudio Braga. As the away fans begin to chant, "We shall not be moved." They'll want to get another goal before they're entirely comfortable here, I would imagine. But they have got I think only Celtic have conceded fewer in the league. So their defensive record has been pretty solid for the most part this season. The 3 goals they conceded to Motherwell at home, maybe the one serious blip on that, but otherwise they have been pretty good defensively. As Milne knocks the ball out of play, it'll be a Falkirk throw-in. Still no changes from either side as we approach the hour mark. Calvin Miller, was it a handball? Didn't quite see that, but I think that's what's been given. And Hearts will have the free kick midway inside their own half. But you would imagine changes are imminent from one or potentially both sides. Steinbender down the right-hand side into Kyziridis. Plays it to Stuart Finlay, 15 yards inside his own half. Forward for Braga, who's been drifting out to the left-hand side quite a lot in the second half, certainly. Tries to play it forward for Milne, comes off Lisa, should be another corner, and it is.
Yeah, see if Lisa's in a better position there, that doesn't happen. I mean, you're given a bit. I would like to think, and I would imagine, knowing John the way I do, they would have been saying don't give away any corners needlessly, and that's just a needless corner by again being lazy.
But it's also from good play from Hearts. They're playing in behind, they're sliding balls down the side of the Falkirk defence, and they're getting in behind the Falkirk defence, and it's causing this right here, a set play.
And this is Kyziridis from the left hand side, where he can certainly curl a ball in dangerously, and this one right on top of Bain. He gets a good 2 fists on it. Ross helps it on. Milne tries to keep it alive, but Henderson's there to knock it out to the right hand side, and it's just too much on it for Wilson to be able to control, and it's gone out of play. Otherwise Falkirk were 3-on-2 coming forward at the halfway line, but Wilson just couldn't bring it under control, and it's a Hearts throw-in instead as we just tick over the hour mark. Falkirk 0, Hearts 1.
Just when Henderson played that, I thought it was a good called a good ball there. I thought he just slid it out just at the right weight and the right passing area for the ongoing midfielder. So it's very unlucky.
I think that probably sums up Falkirk's night, isn't it?
It's fine margins.
Yeah,
isn't it?
They've got the ball in good positions, and they've won the ball in good positions off Hearts, but then that final pass has just let them down.
Steinbender forward for Kyziridis. He can't find a teammate, but he's won it back from Ethan Ross just at the edge of the box. Then he goes down under a challenge. Not a major claim from the player, but looked a slightly dicey challenge to be made. Falkirk have brought it forward. Aguiman trying to reverse it for Wilson. He's asked too much of him. Svolov comes out and slides in and knocks it out of play on this near side. I imagine that incident will be just double checked by VAR. I think it was just inside the box, but it doesn't seem like there's a major delay going on. Falkirk about to take the throw in. It's into Spencer, who just hoists it forward. Aguiman trying to make life difficult for Finlay. Halkett helps his defensive teammate out. Wilson picks up for Falkirk, then Cartwright for Lisa into Ethan Ross, who spins out to his left, and then it's Hart in support on the angle of the box, thinking about trying to get the ball into the box. It comes off Kyziridis. He'll try and prevent the corner. He's done so, but he's given it back to Hart instead. Hart now back to Brad Spencer. Falkirk looking to get it into the area. It's now Wilson. That takes a massive deflection. It should bounce tamely into the arms of Alexander Svolov, and indeed it does. 62 almost played. Falkirk 0, Hearts 1.
Yeah, I think it's crying out for Brian Graham to come through the middle there. The last attack there for Falkirk, Aguiman, it's so much grass to run into. He's got Finlay isolated out in the wider position. Just go run at him. He's got so much pace, so much power. Just run into defence, causing problems in behind there, but he releases the ball too early and it gets turned over.
Spencer trying to find Ross, but straight to a Hearts player. As Henderson now has to defend the situation against Shankland. He backheels it rather precariously, but Hart picks up for Falkirk and plays up to Aguiman on the halfway line. But again, it's another wasteful ball inside. Would you just replace him directly, Aguiman, for Graham for Aguiman?
I would, yeah. I would, and I would try and shuffle up a bit. I think they need a freshness in the midfield as well. I think they're looking a little bit leggy, Falkirk, and they need that pace to get up and support in Brian Graham if they do bring him on.
Hearts have it just inside their own half. It's Finlay out to McEntee there, who's in a deep roll just at the moment as he now surges forward. He's just overrun it, but Kyziridis helps him out. Played 18 in the second half, still 1-0 Hearts lead. Falkirk will still feel there's something in this game for them as Braga can't keep a hold of the ball. Then Cartwright rather overruns it. He's looking for a free kick, but I don't think it was. And the referee agrees with that assessment.
Look at Braga's work rate.
It's tremendous.
Unbelievable.
Tremendous
so good to see. Tremendous. If you're looking at your flair player, your off the cuff, your goal scorer, striker, he's tracking back and making challenges like that. It makes life so much easier for all the rest of the players.
Devlin for Steinbender, right hand side into Shankland, midway inside the Falkirk half. Good challenge by Henderson there to just knocked the ball out of play over on the far side.
And I think for any young players, see any young players sitting on the bench or round about the first team looking at that the manager can say, watch Braga, because watch, not just going forward, look at the defensive job he's doing. He's kind of like a Carlos Tevez there in the way he works and he goes about his business.
What a pluck that is.
I know,
I love that.
It's a bit, obviously Carlos Tevez is a bit a higher level, obviously, but I mean, just the way he goes about his business, I think is so infectious.
Milne looking for Shankland, it's headed away by Henderson, picked up again by McEntee. Milne out to Braga, left hand side, spins away from Lisa. Braga into the penalty area. That's a great ball, but Henderson slides it behind at the near post. So inviting there. Could have ended up in the back of his own net, but Henderson judged it well to knock it behind for a corner. But Hearts in charge at the moment, but they do need the second goal, you feel?
Yeah, he's just starting to grow into the game bit by bit, even doing as we're talking about, doing the defensive side there, but then that sort of gives you the impotence to then go forward again, and he's grown into the game, Braga.
And he also got the crucial goal back in the second minute. Here's Kyziridis from the left-hand side once more with the corner kick, right-footed from the Greek in towards the back post. Another good ball, but it's well won again, I think, by Henderson and Wilson now. And Falkirk can trouble them in the break if Miller can pick the right pass, but he can't. Aguiman was in space through the middle, but Miller just couldn't lift ahead, and we are going to get a couple of changes here. Looks like Dylan Tate and maybe Williams about to come on here.
And all the veteran Brian Graham looks as if he's getting stripped as well as well. Well,
John McGlynn has seen enough from the side that started the game. 65 minutes in, 1-0 they trail. Again, it was just Miller wasn't able to get his head up and make the pass to Aguiman, and it was a more difficult one through to Wilson. It didn't come off. Here is Wilson on the halfway line. He might be one of the players to be replaced here. That's not a bad ball through to Aguiman. It comes off Finlay, but Aguiman picks up edge of the box, slips as he tries to shoot.
That's a free kick.
Well,
it has to be a free kick. He's pulled him back.
Has he? The referee's given a free kick, certainly. And the Falkirk fans are paying for a red card. But so it was Finlay's challenge. I thought he just slipped, but
no, I think as Aguiman was going to hit it there, I think he's obviously the little pull at his jersey.
Okay.
I tell you what, it's an incredible ball for Wilson. Incredible ball. And he gets lucky with the ricochet coming off of Finlay, but he does well to manoeuvre into a position to try and get his shot away. My initial reaction was he slipped, but
yeah,
the referee's close on me.
I'm assuming he issued I didn't see a yellow card come out there, but surely it must have been in that. If he's given a free kick, what half a yard or thereabouts outside the penalty area, it's just to the right of the arc. It can't be more than 19 yards out this, and it's a real chance for Falkirk. Potentially Calvin Miller, you would fancy, from this kind of area. Cartwright's the other player that's over it. Scored a wonderful goal to equalise here against Rangers earlier in the season. Let's see, it's a 5-man Hearts wall. It's Miller, it's come off the back of Aguiman, and that is so disappointing for Falkirk. It's behind for a goal kick, and it's just it's poorly executed.
Calvin Miller's actually in the right go. Aguiman, I don't think it was actually that particularly good free kick for Aguiman.
That's his last touch of the ball before he comes off. That is devastating.
I think Calvin Miller's actually going on as if it was going to get the top corner or something.
It wasn't a clean hit.
No, it wasn't a good hit. I actually feel bad for Aguiman.
Really bad. He's tried to duck out the way and it's scudded him right in the head.
It's just smashed him square in the face. And then you see the board going up saying, right, big man, off you come. Enough for the night.
Oh, man. So, Williams, Tate and Graham coming on. Aguiman, Cartwright, and
Ethan Ross, I think.
Ethan Ross also off. Yeah, okay. So 3 changes then, all at once from John McGlynn, whose side have just passed up a really good chance to get themselves level with the free kick. But yeah, the execution wasn't quite on point.
I wonder if Derek will bring on Kingsley just as a bit of an aerial threat as well for Harry Millen, just that more defensive sort of minded. Just with Brian Graham coming on, peeling on at the back of Stuart Finlay, do you bring somebody on that's more defensive minded that will cover? He'll probably cover Stuart Finlay a bit more. Be interesting to see what Derek does substitution wise now, the fact that Falkirk have sort of made that sort of change.
Calls out for a Falkirk throw-in on this near side, just inside their own half.
And I think for Falkirk, what you've got to try and do is just get Calvin Miller to just go off Brian Graham.
Brilliant. Well played from Shankland into Magnuson inside the penalty area now. Left-hand side, tries to get it to the back post. Comes off Lisa there. Some faint and hopeful claims from Hearts fans for a handball, but it was played right off from about a yard away. Hearts have it through Halkett back to Shvolov. No sign yet of Derek McInnes going to his bench as McEntee wins the flick on, but in comes Henderson, high in the air from him. Dylan Tate, John McGlynn will be desperate for him to avoid a yellow card as much as anything else, as he was saying pre-match, as he doesn't want him and Brad Spencer. There's Braga with a header onto the roof of the net. Just couldn't rise high enough to be able to direct that on goal. Yeah, Brad Spencer's partner due to have a baby very soon, and Ethan Tate running a tight rope of yellow cards, so he doesn't want to lose them both at the same time, but they're both out there now as Milne squeezes it forward. Then Braga for McEntee, who rides one challenge, does well to knock the ball through for Magnuson. This could be a chance for Hearts. It's Shankland now into the area, just shows too much of it to Sam Hart, and that'll trickle behind for a goal kick as McEntee picks himself up. Well, he's asking why he didn't get the free kick. It was entirely because a good advantage was played by the referee, in fairness.
Really good play there with Hearts as well, to get out this side, to get out the other side. Kyziridis makes the wrong run, in my opinion. He's got to get around Shankland. He goes in inside him. Shanks hasn't got a pass on after that.
Well played from Braga for Milne, left-hand side. Milne now picks out to the back post. Kyziridis had come in, and he'll go and retrieve it at the far side of the box, and he rolls it back to Cammy Devlin. 25 from goal, clips it in, but that's way too near Scott Bain. An easy take for him, and it remains Falkirk 0, Hearts 1. 26 minutes gone in this second period, and Falkirk's, I suppose their main frustration will be they've really not troubled Alexandros Kyziridis in either half, actually, but certainly not in this second half.
Yeah, I think they'll be disappointed the fact they've not even the wind playing a part there with Stuart Finlay and just sort of going through back through to Shvolov. But yeah, I think Falkirk will be disappointed the fact they've probably not capitalised on the start that they had in the second half. The first couple of minutes I thought they were really bright, and they kind of looked to try and put Hearts in the back foot. But in saying that, still only one goal. I think that's what John will need to try and get across to them, is just saying, listen lads, we're still in this game, can we keep going, might be 85, 75, whatever it might be, can we just sort of fashion that one chance? And I think if you're Derek, this is where Derek will make his money. I think for Derek McInnes now is, do you stick or twist? Do you just keep what you've got? Do you bring on somebody else to try and stretch, or do you bring Stephen Kingsley on to try and shore up? This is where he makes his money, is these sort of games where it is on a knife edge to an extent.
Wilson tries to fire it into the Hearts penalty area. It's knocked away by McEntee, but Milne's under pressure here back at the byline. He's got away from Miller, and now he knocks it forward up to the halfway line. Henderson gets his head to it and plays it back forward. Then comes McEntee to win it, and he follows his own ball and puts Lisa under pressure, and he only knocks it out for a throw in to Hearts.
I think that's the only thing I would say about Falkirk there. Calvin Miller gets Harry Millen right in the corner there. Harry Millen's actually facing his own goal, and he lets him just turn
it's too
pretty easy just to get out there. That's the only thing I would say about Falkirk, is can they be a bit more aggressive, a bit more nasty, a bit more dirty, just to keep them in that sort of corner, not let them out, try and force the issue.
Yeah, that's where Hearts have been good when that's happened. They've kept them in there, and they've got up on the second balls.
Here comes a Hearts change, and it is Stephen Kingsley, as Ryan was wandering about. It's a straight swap by the looks of it for Harry Milne at left back. Milne's taken a couple of dunks, certainly, but
how long's left? What did we say?
Well, let's work it out. 28 minutes gone, so
yeah, I think that's
17 plus.
I think that's good managing. I think that's the right decision. I think to bring him on, I think just to play from behind the ball, that's what I'd be. Stephen will come on and do. Stephen Kingsley will come on, he'll just, I would imagine he'll be busting a gut to get past Braga on this side. I think he'll just play from behind him, keep the back four steady, strong, and try and see out this last, especially when it's at 1-0. Can we just try and not just park the bus, but can we see out this 15 minutes as a solid sort of performance now?
Finley's got a bit of defending to do here, and Miller can nick in, and he just takes the ball off Finley, but he can't get the shot in, but he has knocked it back to Wilson. Wilson hoists it way too long. Brian Graham will chase it, but he won't keep it in. It's another wasted opportunity for Falkirk.
I tell you what, Finley's very lucky there. He's very lucky. Was it Calvin Miller that sneaks in?
Yeah.
Calvin Miller sneaks in. If he goes down, he gives the referee a decision to make there, because he's been rash. Finley's been really rash in that situation.
I'm going to give him the benefit of the doubt that maybe it was the wind that
that's what happens.
I think that's Finley's been absolutely outstanding this season. He really has. There's a couple of games that I've watched him that he's a bit lethargic at times, and it does get him caught.
I'm telling you now, I'm winning a penalty there.
I'm going down. I'm straight away. You're just going down.
Martin Boyle against Falkirk last week. He buys the contact.
100%.
He feels the contact. He's down. Penalty. There you go. He's got to be cute on that situation for me.
Again, that's what we're talking about with Falkirk being too nice. And you know, the aggressive side, it can be going and getting against tackles and things like that, but obviously reading that situation as well.
There's Lisa looking to Brian Graham again. It's an overcooked pass. The conditions, they're playing a part in it, but the players have got to be aware of that. And there was a simpler ball into the middle. I think it was Calvin Miller. Was a ball at the edge of the box. Would have been probably an easier pass to make in these conditions, certainly.
Yeah, I think you're right, Al. I think as well as Falkirk can't go down the rabbit hole of Big Brian's on the pitch. Can we just launch it from every angle possible at his head? I think that what they have to try and do is get into areas. Can they get into sort of that full-back area against the Hearts full-backs and then get the ball in the box? I think again that's a bit of inexperience from the sort of younger players at Falkirk, but Scotty Arfield coming on, I think, will be that sort of, hopefully that sort of link that can get Falkirk more up the pitch, get them wide, get balls in the box.
And it's Calvin Miller that he's going to replace. So the veteran comes on for the final stages of this game to see if we can well, the last time they beat Hearts in the top flight, I told you it was a while ago, September 2008, and Scott Arfield got a 90th minute winner as Kingsley goes for goal!
What a goal!
Oh, what a strike that is from Stephen Kingsley from 25 yards, simply unstoppable from the substitute. Well, he's scored a few belters down the years, and that is right up there from open play this time. He just lashes it beyond Scott Bain to make it Falkirk 0, Hearts 2.
Well, I mean, obviously Ryan Stevenson's got no clue what he's talking about. The fact that he said that
that's where Derek McInnes earns his money.
That's right. Kingsley's just going to sit in that left back position and keep the back four tight, and then he just walks up the park, picks the ball up 25 yards out, takes a good touch, and then smashes one on the half volley right into the top corner. I mean, what an unbelievable finish! Unbelievable. Great touch, great finish. Probably not the player you thought was going to do that, but fair play to Stephen Kingsley.
The thing is, he's got that quality, hasn't he?
Yeah,
against his former side. Unbelievable hit. And we did call it. That's where Derek McInnes will make his money.
Derek will be
substitutes.
Derek will be sitting down in his big comfy seat down that bench, just looking there thinking, yeah, I know what I'm talking about.
First league goal of the season for Stephen Kingsley. His only other one came in a League Cup, but that was as sweet a strike as you'll see. Beautifully hit by Stephen Kingsley, and with 12 minutes, 13 maybe remaining now, plus stoppage time, it's going to take a massive effort from Falkirk now to come back from this. They're heading for their second defeat here of the season.
Do you want to know one of the biggest things? It's an unbelievable strike as Falkirk go forward here.
Yeah, at least I'll almost link him with Brian Graham. Comes out to Dylan Tate, back out to Lisa, right hand side, low ball in this time. McEntee there to cut it out at the near post. Falkirk needs something back quickly if they're to try and take anything from it. It's Lisa forward for Wilson. Wilson hits the back post. Again, there's too much on it, and some of his teammates now throw out their arms in exasperation, understandably.
Do you know what? It's so difficult. Sorry, Ryan. It's so difficult in that corner because see the wind swirls in from that. So you need to take a wee bit off your cross. They should have seen that from the first 3 crosses I've tried to put in. They've all went out that back post.
Just going back to Stephen Kingsley there. We're going on about Braga chasing back and how good a sort of knock-on effect that has on your teammates. The fact that Stephen Kingsley hasn't played that many games of recent, and I've watched him after games when we obviously stay in the stadium to do them a bit after the game, and he comes out and he does his running, the way he obviously is in training, the way he must be on the bench and round about the players, an absolute credit to himself, the fact that he's actually playing at that standard, because he'll not be happy sitting on the bench, and coming on and actually doing that, and the way he's actually going about his game as a professional is top notch.
Do you not think that comes from that?
Here come Hearts again. It's Shankland and behind by Scott Bain to deny Hearts a third. What do you go, Lee?
Sorry, do you not think that comes from he's older, he's a good pro, he understands his role within the squad, because Dale's obviously created an environment that he enjoys to be a part of. He will play his role, whether it's coming off the bench to shore things up, coming off the bench to score worldies. Do you know what I mean? He's enjoying his football.
100%. You know what it's like when you try and tell some older pros that you've got to accept you're not going to play every week. And again, that's down to the man management side. But getting back on that chance there, great play again from Hearts. Goes to Lawrence on his left foot. You're just expecting him to curl that in the bottom corner, make it 3-0, and then that's it, completely dead.
Corner kick then from the right-hand side. As Hearts look to add further to their advantage. It's swung in dangerously. It's won by Magnussen, but Shankland can't latch on to the knockdown. And behind for the goal kick as both sides are about to make further changes.
Take Craig Halkett off here as well, I would imagine, just with the games and his injuries and how important he is for the team as well.
Yeah, well, Kyziridis is certainly going to be replaced.
Again, even being able to make these sort of substitutions for Derek, it takes a weight off him and his coaching staff as well, because players are getting minutes, so they feel as if they're part of it and they're still involved in it all. I think when it's 1-0, you're reluctant to change so many bodies, and then players get antsy because they've not played, and it can be harder to manage. So Derek will be absolutely delighted the way the game's panned out.
So Kyziridis, Shankland and Braga all making way for Kabangu, Spittle and Kyrgiota, and Falkirk just wait to make their change, which is Lisa being replaced by Ryan Edwards. And with 8.5 minutes left to play, it remains Falkirk 0, Hearts 2, the league leaders on course for yet another victory, as Edwards now fires it forwards. Finlay gets his head to it first, falls for Spencer, but he can't keep a hold of it, and then Devlin helps it forward. Kabangu, who's had precious few opportunities this season, can't quite get on the end of it, but Hearts have got themselves a free kick for a little tussle in the middle of the park, about 10 yards inside the Falkirk half. I think could be another opportunity here for them to completely bury Falkirk. As forward they come down that right hand side. Swung in, but it's over Kabangu, and behind for a goal kick to Falkirk. 2-0 Hearts it remains then in these final moments.
I think in terms of, see what I've noticed in this game, a lot of Cammy Devlin's little bits go unnoticed. He's bought a free kick there. There's no need. It's a collision. It's a 50-50. He's bought it. He's been down. He's just been clever enough to understand the situation around him. I think he's been exceptional tonight. I really do.
That's the thing. It just takes the sting out of the game, and it's what we're speaking about just before kick-off. We're talking about Derek having the trust in his players to manage situations, manage games, and Cammy does that excellently there by just, we're under a wee bit of pressure. Do you know what? I'll take a little tumble here. I'll sit down for 2 or 3 seconds. Just lets us get back into our shape, regroup.
Falkirk coming down the right hand side, out for a throw in to them.
John McGlynn won't be too happy. He won't be too happy the decision making in the final third. They've just not got enough balls into areas that it's going to test the defence and the goalkeeper. You've got to try and test the goalkeeper when you're on top of games, when you've got that ball, you've got the possession, work it into a position, like Ryan said, get it further up the pitch, then get the balls into the box. They're crossing it from too deep.
Here's Dylan Tate in the halfway line, more or less, out to Allen, who's now playing at right back, with Edwards in at centre back. Williams tries to help it on, but absolutely no chance that Allen was going to get onto that, and it's just seen back to the goalkeeper, Shvolov, who has really been largely untested. He was rounded in the first half by Wilson in a moment that might still go down as contentious, when it was saved on the line by Harry Milne. He did use his arm, it was in front of his body, and the referee and VAR agreed there was no penalty. But beyond that, it's a poor challenge from Hart and a yellow card for the bringing down Kyziridis. Sorry, it's not Kyziridis now, it's Kyrgiota who's out there. A crude challenge, certainly. But as I was saying, beyond that, Shvolov has been largely untested this evening.
Yeah, I think John McGlynn will be, as Lee said, that'll be his biggest disappointment. The fact that I actually think they've been okay in the game. They've been in it.
Yeah,
but I think
they've always been in the game, but
the
play's just been in midfield. It's not in the final third, the attacking final third for Falkirk, and that's where it'll disappoint. And then as soon as Ryan Edwards comes on, he tries to lump a ball up to Brian Graham. But Brian Graham's got 2 or 3 players round about him because he's set. The defenders are set. You need to do that when there's a wee bounce pass in there and it comes back.
Forward by Spittle down the left-hand side, hooked away by Allen. Spittle's onto the second ball though. Gets a rebound back off Magnuson, loses out to Edwards though, and helped forward by Spencer. Then a little bit of a high boot by Tate. He'll be lucky to maybe avoid a yellow card for that one. The referee hasn't even given a free kick. I mean, he certainly played the ball first, but his boot was high. But play continues, and John McGlynn can breathe a sigh of relief on that front. He's apologising now to Cammy Devlin. I mean, it was accidental, but a little bit careless from Tate. But Cammy Devlin's
Cammy's at it.
That one was probably a foul. Out of the lot, that was probably the most blatant foul, and he doesn't get it.
There's Henderson on the edge of his own penalty area. Falkirk very much running out of time. Just over 4 to play of the 90, as Tate has it just inside his own half. Feeds it forward down the right, but it's a really tough ball for Graham to make anything of, and it's cleared pretty comfortably. McEntee helps it forward on the halfway line, then Tate and Edwards clash heads, the 2 Falkirk teammates, and Tate's come off worse and stayed down. Edwards has had a few of those in his career, but Dylan Tate certainly feeling the force of that. It's the back of his head. It's taking the brunt of it.
Centre halves, man, honestly.
Big clumsy centre halves.
It's going to be a throw into Hearts here.
I think Hearts are going to make another sub as well.
Yeah, looks like it. I mean, it's going to be, is it McCart maybe who's Jamie McCart, who's stripped. Another player who's not seen a whole lot of football this season, having been very much a regular when he came in initially to the club. He's going to go into a back 3 really, and Magnuson's going to drop into that Cammy Devlin role as Devlin makes way after another terrific performance here, helping Hearts to what looks very much like another 3 points. Spencer forces it forward onto the head of Halkett, who's now wearing the armband. Spittle can't keep it. It's picked up by Tate, who spins away from Kabangu, gets it back to Henderson, and now Spencer. Edwards back into Spencer, still midway inside their own half. Falkirk fans look like they're going to go home disappointed this evening, really for only the second time this campaign. But they will reflect on the fact that, as I said to John McGlynn pre-match, they had already made their best start to a top-flight campaign since 1994, over 30 years ago. So plenty to be positive about in this Falkirk season so far. But it looks like they're just going to come up short against a top side in Hearts, who every passing week look more and more like title contenders. Here come Falkirk trying to make something, but Graham can't squeeze it through, and now it's going to come to Kabangu at the other end. Hearts coming on the counter-attack, looking to mirror the 3-0 scoreline from Tynecastle earlier in the season. It's Kyriota trying to get it across goal. It comes off the chest of Hart, and in typical fashion the home fans, the away fans claim for a handball when it was clearly nothing like it. Here's Edwards, and now Tate midway inside his own half. Only just over a minute left. We'll get the fourth officials board shortly to show us exactly how much will be added on, but Falkirk's problem has been, as David was mentioning, scoring goals of late, and this is going to be 4 in a row without a goal unless they can muster something in the closing minutes. It's Dylan Tate midway inside the Hearts half, clips it forward, picked up by Williams at the edge of the box, gets it back to Spencer, and he just curls it well wide of target, and that pretty much sums up Falkirk's efforts in front of goal. We're in the 90th minute, and it's Falkirk 0, Hearts 2.
Yeah, Falkirk have kind of huffed and puffed this full half. They're just not getting anything in the final third. I don't think Scott Arfield's touched the ball yet since he's been on. He's one of your most influential players, and he's just found it really difficult to get on the ball and try and take the game to Hearts. But listen, credit to Hearts. Hearts have been excellent tonight. They really have. They've seen the game out. They've like we were saying, bought free kicks when they've had. They've kind of took the sting out of the game. They've hurried it when it's on to be hurried. They've put it forward. They've made Falkirk defend. They've played balls in behind Falkirk's defence to then cause confusion in the defence. Then have been up on the second ball. They've really been good tonight.
Here is Arfield in possession, going down the right hand side. McEntee with him. Arfield held up for now, but gets it back to Tate, who swings it to the back post. That one almost worked out, but it's Steinwender who got it clear. Falkirk have it left hand side. They try and create something, but they've just managed to knock it straight out of play there, and the home fans very much beginning to head for the exits here as we enter injury time.
I think Derek McInnes will be majorly happy with this performance. I think just the fact that the weather, 8 p.m. kick-off Saturday night on the AstroTurf, away performance, the pressure obviously after the result of last weekend. I think they've done absolutely everything. Listen, Falkirk have had one good chance with Wilson in the first half. They saw that out. The way they started the game, superb. And then getting the second goal there, and obviously the game's just dead, but I think he'll be extremely proud of these players. And I think for John McCunn's side, I think as Lee said, it's kind of huff and puff. It's all nice and tidy till they get to like 20 yards out, and then it just dies a death. And I would think as good a start as it's been, I think John will be looking at it thinking, right, can we get somebody or a couple of players in January that can come in and maybe score us?
Here's Arfield picking up 25 yards from goal again. It's an overhit pass, no chance Brian Graham was going to catch that one, and it's a goal kick to Hearts, and it looks like their clean sheet is going to remain intact. We're playing 90 seconds of stoppage time as Alexandros Kyziridis prepares to take the goal kick. So Falkirk won't make up any ground on Aberdeen, who are immediately above them just on goal difference coming into this one, but there'll be no moving up the table this weekend for the home side. Hearts are going to go 6 points clear of Celtic at the top of the table as their fabulous start to the season continues. Spencer has it back to Edwards, just at the edge of his own box, into the feet of Tate. Tate out to the right hand side. Well, Allen thought he was going to get there initially, and then realised that Kingsley was going to get to it first, and Kingsley scored that brilliant second goal. Gets it back from Spittle, left hand side, now into the feet of Kyriota on the angle of the box, left hand side, pokes it back to Spittle. Spittle now back into the feet of Kyriota, who'll get it into the area, away by Henderson. Graham picks up right on the edge of his own penalty area. Edwards for Tate, and now Allen. Wilson into the feet of Dylan Tate. Now Williams back to Tate. Falkirk, nice football until Wilson runs into Kabangu and gives it away, and McEntee picks up for Hearts. 3 minutes almost played at stoppage time. Hearts leading by 2-0. Back it goes onto the halfway line to McCart, and now Finlay, and Kingsley gets it back from Spittle. Derek McInnes still out there barking orders at his side, and it's gone back to Svolov, and he's got his head in his hands. He can't be that upset, surely. But well, he's got to be demanding, because the standards are such that they've set that they need to try and keep them up, and only from his demands will he continue to improve and continue to keep up that race at the top.
He was desperate. He was desperate for him to just flip it in behind.
I bet you the boys behind him on the bench are just chuckling away, going, look at the gaffer, we're 2-0 up. He's gone absolutely mental.
But I love it. I love the fact he's demanding.
Yeah,
he's demanding the best. He's demanding right to the final whistle. Do things properly. Good habits.
Here's Tate into the feet of Brian Graham. Midway inside the Hearts half, just swivels away from a couple of challenges. Then he's challenged by Magnuson. He wanted the free kick, but he doesn't get it. And Spittle picks up on the loose ball. It's full time at the Falkirk Stadium, and Hearts have another victory in their quest to land a league title. Well, they've now moved 6 points clear of Celtic at the top after 17 games. Yes, Celtic have 2 games in hand, but Hearts have got the points on the board as they continue their best start to a season in 20 years. Could this be the season where their dream finally comes true? It's an evening that started so well for them, as Shankland's shot from the edge of the box was tipped onto the bar by Scott Bain, but the rebound was headed home by Claudio Braga inside 66 seconds. His 11th of the season, his 8th in the Premiership, gave Hearts the perfect start. Falkirk came closest to scoring just ahead of the interval when Wilson rounded the goalkeeper, having got in behind the Hearts defence, but Harry Milne got back to block on the line with an arm, but the referee judged that it was tucked into his body, and therefore no penalty was awarded. And beyond that, Falkirk really didn't trouble Alexandros Kyziridis in the Hearts goal, and so it was left to Stephen Kingsley to seal the points in spectacular fashion, having come on as a substitute. He could only have been on for a matter of minutes before he stepped forward and absolutely smashed the ball left-footed beyond the despairing Scott Bain to make sure of the points for the league leaders, and made sure it finishes at the Falkirk Stadium. Falkirk 0, Hearts 2.